I've been building my own kingdom for everyone to see. It exists to keep me safe from harm, and it's intact to glorify me. Nobody helped me build this up. It was me and me alone. I've appointed myself as the king, and I've given myself the throne. But it turns out I'm no ruler, and I have no control. So I have decided to destroy it all. I'm tearing down the walls, kicking down the doors. Everything inside this kingdom is yours. 'Cause what I've made is worthless, and it cannot stand. Come and breathe some life into my empty, cold, dead hands. Down with the fickle king, away with this fantasy. You are the one I need. Death to the kingdom of me. Death to the kingdom of me. I should probably be frightened. This empire's all I know, but it always does more damage than good. I'm afraid it's gotta go. I know that I can't be trusted, 'cause I'm just a man. And if you hadn't given your life for me, a loser would be all that I am. You know they say just follow your heart. I'm afraid that's a load of trash. Your heart will take you down to deep, dark places where you feel like you'll never come back. So I'm coming out of the dark. This facade is I woke up feeling like it was time to tighten up. Yeah, I woke up feeling like it might be a good day to get it done. That's right.
What do you mean? What do you mean to tell me? You mean to tell me that we come into this season with the bar at an all-time low? You mean to tell me we come into this season thinking, bro, I just want to see improvement. I don't even care. I don't even care about wins and losses. Just show me some improvement. You mean to tell me this team somehow got worse? You mean to tell me this team managed to go even further in the wrong direction and they're 1-11? You mean to tell me that the corner, L'Jarius Sneed, that we traded for and gave up a third-round pick for and gave up a ton of money for, ended up on IR again, didn't play well when he was out there, and now he's got legal trouble? You mean to tell me that the wide receiver we paid $92 million for broke his leg? You mean to tell me that two veteran players, Tyler Lockett and Quandre Diggs, the team was so bad, they just said, hey, can y'all just get rid of me? Can y'all just release me? Tyler Lockett said, I would rather go play for the Raiders than to waste my time. with this, and we had to let him go. You mean to tell me that Traylon Burks had the catch of the year last night? You mean to tell me that the guy that threw that ball to Traylon Burks when he had a catch of the year was Marcus Mariota? You mean to tell me that one of the best defensive players in the league this year is Kevin Byard? You mean to tell me that one of the best coaches in the NFL this year is Mike Vrabel with the Patriots? You mean to tell me that we thought that we had hired the perfect replacement for Mike Vrabel, and he got fired in week 6, Brian Callahan? We hired a replacement for Vrabel, and he got fired 6 weeks in to his second season because he was so bad? What else? You mean to tell me that not only are the Titans the worst team I've ever seen, but the other 3 teams in the AFC South that I can't stand, they might all make the playoffs. They all good. The Colts are getting worse, but the Colts, Texans, Jaguars, they might all make it. You mean to tell me we're eliminated from playoff contention with 5 games to go? You mean to tell me we drafted a quarterback first overall and then brought him into a situation where he cannot be coached, he cannot be led, he cannot be developed, the people around him cannot catch, cannot block, cannot run correct routes, cannot run the ball, cannot stop fumbling? You mean to tell me that I got to spend the entire season arguing with fans about whether the first overall pick is a bust when he ain't even done with his rookie season because y'all put him in such a miserable position that we can't even properly analyze him? And you mean to tell me that after we fired Brian Callahan, we appointed Mike McCoy to be the interim head coach, and somehow he's lost the locker room even more than Brian Callahan? He's out here acting like he's the cowardly lion from the new Wicked movie, and it has made him the first ever 2-time Weenie of the Week. Mike, I thought I already told you the first time, bro. No weenies allowed, Mike. But you came back for more. And now you are the first ever 2-time Weenie of the Week. I mean, folks, this season right here is the worst season ever! The worst season ever if you are a Titans fan. And it ain't just because the Titans are bad. It's because all this other stuff, former players who are doing great elsewhere, former coaches who are doing great elsewhere. The teams we hate are good. The coaches we hired were awful and are awful. I ain't ever seen nothing like this in my life. The bar is so low, bro. It is so low that last week we lost to the Seahawks and we were still like, hey, we happy. We happy. We don't even care that we lost because you know what? We showed improvement. Like we taking moral victories. It was so bad. And then it was like, you know what? If we just come back and keep playing well, you know, keep playing well. I mean, Jacksonville's good, but they're not as good as Seattle. They're not as good as Houston. We could really hang in there with them. Nope. Absolutely not. By now, you and I should know whatever little breadcrumbs you want the Tennessee Titans to give you, they're not going to do it. They're just not going to do it. You want to see just minimal improvement? You want to just see some signs of life? Nuh-uh. You're not going to get that. No, sir, no, ma'am. You are not going to get an ounce of hope from us. You got encouraged about that performance last week against Seattle? Well, guess what, baby? We're going to follow it up with the worst performance of the season? Maybe. I mean, that first game against Houston was awful. The Raiders game was awful. And then this. I mean, this was a bottom 3 performance of the season for the Titans in every phase. And I'm sitting here today and I'm thinking about what I'm going to say on this podcast. And I was like, dude, what can I say to not just make this a rerun? What can I come on here and say that won't just make this a repeat of everything that I have said already, week after week? And I don't know, man. At this point, with 5 games to go, we've come through Thanksgiving. Bro, I don't know what to say anymore. I don't know what to say. I'm not going to sit here and argue with you about Cam Ward. I'm not going to do it. I thought Cam played one of his worst games of the season yesterday. I thought he looked uncomfortable. I thought he looked like he had no confidence. He looked lost. He looked like he didn't even practice this week. He wasn't the only one, but he looked lost. Every bit of confidence and comfort that he showed against Seattle last week, it was all out the window against Jacksonville this week. He looked like he did not even know what we were doing. I thought it was one of Cam's worst performances. But at this point in the season, I know how this goes, guys. I know how it goes. I know that you must either think that he's a bust. You must already declare him a bust and declare that he's the problem here and we'd be good if we had anybody else. You must either go to that side or you must go to the side that says nothing's his fault and he's perfect and no blame should be placed on him at all. I know by now that's what we do here. We must go to the extreme this way or the extreme that way. That's how we live our lives now. But most reasonable people can set in the middle and say, okay, Cam has some weeks where he's not playing well at all. He looks lost. He looks like he doesn't know what to do. But I also can acknowledge he's not being coached well. He doesn't have good talent around him. The offensive line's no good. The receivers are no good. And the coaches are no good. Again, I said I wasn't going to talk about it, but here we are. Literally, I don't know how you can look at what I'm not absolving Cam of blame or saying that he doesn't have things to fix, because he does. But I don't know how you can look at what's around him and pretend that doesn't play a factor. I don't know how you can pretend that you don't want to see the first overall pick with better coaching and better talent around him before you make up your mind. The guy, Justin Graver, a couple of weeks ago said it best. You don't have to make up your mind right now. You don't have to declare Cam Ward as a Hall of Famer, and you don't have to declare him as a bust. You can just sit back and see. They're going to play Shedeur this week. And it's about to get more toxic than ever, because every time Shedeur completes a pass, Shedeur can complete a drag route. He threw an incomplete pass. It's going to be absolutely out of control. And so before we even get to that, I just want to say I'm done. Whatever your feelings are, I don't care. Just have your opinion, but just know he's going to be the quarterback next season and probably the season after that. And they're going to build around him this offseason, because you don't draft a quarterback first overall and then go in a new direction after 1 year. Get real, man. This ain't Madden. This is real life. And he deserves a shot to show that he can play with better coaching and better players around him. He was not good yesterday. Cam Ward was not good yesterday. Some of y'all say that I like to cope and I'm on copium. Everybody says I'm on copium. If I say even something that could possibly be construed as positive. Because y'all are either one way or the other. You either want constant negativity or you want sunshine and rainbows. I'm trying to give it to you as reasonably as I can. Cam Ward was not good yesterday, but they're going to have to get better around him and get better coaching to develop him properly. Because look at what we have right now. Guys, here's what I'm going to choose to talk about right now. Mike McCoy. Let me tell you, Easton Freeze put out an article last night that really detailed how bad of a spot this locker room is in right now with Mike McCoy. I think Mike McCoy is a better coach than Brian Callahan, but in a way, he's a better coach in a way of eating grass is better than eating dirt. But it still sucks. You'd rather, if you had to choose, you'd rather eat grass than dirt. But it's still, not satisfying and it tastes bad. Mike McCoy's better than Brian Callahan, but, this guy has totally lost the locker room even more than Callahan did. I don't know if you guys heard yesterday what Cam Ward said in his postgame press conference when he was asked about kicking a field goal on 4th and 3 on the opening drive instead of going for it. Cam Ward said, dude, I say it all the time. We should be going for it. What do we have to lose? I say it all the time. I let it be known every day that my mentality is we're 1 and now 11. Why are we not just going for it every time? So that ought to tell you right there, he's out on Mike McCoy. Jeff Simmons, the leader of this team. You hear what he said to the media yesterday? He said, bro, they asked him what needed to change. And the first thing he said, we got to get a head coach in here that can change the culture. So when Jeff Simmons was asked about the thing that most needed to change, the first thing out of his mouth, we got to get a head coach in here that can change the culture, indicating Mike McCoy ain't doing it. And then last but not least, Arden Key, who had say, he got to talk and he said, there's some things I can't even talk about or I'll get in trouble. And it ain't got nothing to do with the Jaguars and it ain't got nothing to do with penalties that happen in the game. There's some stuff going on in this locker room. There's some stuff going on with some people here that I'm not even at liberty to say what it is because I'll get in trouble. So you got clues being put out there by players on this team that Mike McCoy has lost this locker room. Now, is that the end of the world considering he's the interim head coach and he's going to have this job for only 5 more weeks anyway? It's not the end of the world, but I mean, you tell me, folks, from the top of the depth chart to the bottom, that looked like a team yesterday who wasn't quitting, but they don't believe in this coach. They didn't believe in Callahan, and they don't believe in McCoy either. And why should they? What did I say? You don't believe in the players ain't going to believe in you. 4th and we've seen it since he took the job. Punting on 4th and short in opponent territory, settling for field goals. Yesterday they were down 25-3 in the third quarter with 4th and 7, and he punted. Mike McCoy, there's a reason he's a 2-time Weenie of the Week. The first ever 2-time Weenie of the Week. He has totally lost this locker room. This locker room is fractured. Fractured right now. With 5 games to go, I don't know how they're going to get through it because they look like they are ready for it to be over. They look like they are ready for it to be over, and I'm right there with them. I'm ready for it to be over too. I spend the entire spring and the entire summer looking forward to this time of year. And now this time of year is here, and I'm looking forward to the spring and the summer. You want to know why? Because I said this last night. the offseason for Tennessee is going to be so much more eventful and fun than the season is. At least you got a new head coach, a lot of money to spend, probably a first overall draft pick. Like, at least that's going to be more fun than this. This is awful. I mean, this team just looks, dead in the water is not even the word. I mean, they're dead. They're dead at the bottom of the sea. Like, they've drowned completely to the bottom of the ocean. I mean, it is just. I mean, listen. John said, I know it's bad, but good Lord, your whiny, blank, loud voice is awful. Well, then you could just tune out. There's a lot of other podcasts. Go listen to Stillman. Go listen to Stillman talk about trading for Mac Jones. Okay? If this is so annoying, why are you watching? Why are you watching then? Go watch Buck Rising make fun of the whole fan base if you want to have a good time. Thanks for the engagement. But yeah, I think that this is a locker room in turmoil. And not necessarily because they're all mad at each other. You know, sometimes you have locker rooms where guys don't like each other or whatever, but like they just don't believe in the coach. And I'm sure there are certain players. Listen, I feel like the locker room's fed up with J.C. Latham, personally. I feel like there are a lot of people that are fed up with J.C. I think there's a lot of question about his work ethic and a lot of questions about his desire to be good. We've seen that from Jeffrey Simmons questioning J.C. Latham in the past. I do think there are certain guys on this team that need a kick in the pants probably. But overall, I think they feel directionless. You know what I'm saying? Like, they feel totally, completely directionless. There is no, like, and I know with an interim head coach, of course you're going to feel directionless because you know this coach and the entire staff's probably going to be gone in 5 weeks anyway. But with Callahan, they were directionless too because he was a sitting duck and they knew he was going to get fired. So there was a no-win situation. I do think if they had gone with Denard Wilson or Bones Fossil as the interim, that's what I wanted to do, because at least those guys have some fire and some aggression to them, and they might could have gotten something out of these players that Mike McCoy has not been able to get. But I just think that it's going to be a long 5 weeks. These last 5 weeks. Somebody just said, Ghost05 said, you think the Browns defense is going to give Cam problems? Yes. The Browns defense is going to give every aspect of the Titans offense problems. Myles Garrett, who's going to block Myles Garrett? Dan Moore, J.C. Latham. I don't have any faith in them to block Myles Garrett. So, yeah, I think it's going to be a long day in Cleveland. And I understand, like, on one hand, we need to just lose. You want to secure that number 1 overall pick. I understand that. I also think there's some damage in doing nothing but losing. This team desperately needs a win. You can say what difference would it make to be 2-11, but I've said it before. These rookies need to experience what it's like to win. They need to experience, some semblance of happiness, because I think it just drains it out of you. Handle something or another said, this is the bad team Brad wanted. When did I say I wanted a bad team? He said he'd rather have a bad team instead of a 500-win team fighting every week and being competitive, rather have a high draft pick instead of a winning culture. Well, listen, you tell me. Look at the Titans roster and the shape that it's in. Would you rather them bottom out and get a number 1 overall pick and then trade back to get a bunch of picks so they can improve the roster? Or would you rather fight and claw to be 6-11, 7-10, and now you still have a bad roster, and now you're picking at 12, 13? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think it's out of bounds to say that there is, with the way the NFL is set up and with a roster like the Titans, but here's the thing. You can get mad at me the losing is not the problem. That was made clear last week and the week before. The Titans lost to Houston. They lost to Seattle, but the spirits were still high, even in defeat, because those were the kinds of losses you want. You want Cam looking better, the rookies playing well, the team showing fight, the team showing heart, and coming up short at the end. Yesterday was a different kind of issue, because yesterday was a loss where Cam looked bad. Really nobody particularly played well. Jacksonville's a good team. They're not as good as some of the teams you've played in the past that you were more competitive with. I mean, this was the kind of loss that just makes you feel like, what are we even doing here? What was the point? What's the point in even putting this on the field? What's the point in putting this product on the field? Because nobody's getting better. Nobody's developing. Nobody's in a good spot, and that's with Mike McCoy, an interim head coach. You're just not getting anything out of anybody. If you do, it's just through that own play. If a player plays well and shows development, it's through their own personal athleticism and skill. It is not, I do not feel like anybody is being properly developed or helped. I feel like they're just going out there and trying to get through these games as fast as they can. That's what it feels like to me. Handel says, I'd rather them win from the beginning. Yeah, me too. But with Brian Callahan / Mike McCoy coaching and then this roster, I don't think that was ever in the cards. And let's talk about this roster. I already mentioned they're out on the coach. Let me get a sip of this drink. I already mentioned they're out on the coach. But I was trying to think of who played well yesterday for the Titans. I guess Jeff. I guess. Chimere Dike had a nice punt return, but he also fumbled, and he, as much as I'm excited about Chimere Dike, why can't they get him doing anything on offense? He had a couple of weeks there where he was really getting involved in the offense and doing some nice things. Now, all of a sudden, they can't figure out how to get him the ball. They run that little reverse thing with him once a game, and it never works. It always gets a yard or two. But, I guess because of the punt return, he gets a shout out. Peter Skoronski usually plays well. I'm going to assume he played well yesterday. But players that disappointed, I thought Cam was disappointing yesterday. After coming off of his best game of the season, you would have liked to see him continue in a good direction, and he had a major setback. Of course, nobody played well. You had receivers dropping passes. You had offensive line playing poorly. But then Cam, was missing open guys, overthrowing guys, underthrowing guys, throwing too far outside, inside. Just a poor game from Cam Ward, a disappointing performance from him as you wanted to see. And I understand progress isn't always linear. It's not always just he gets better and better every week. There's going to be peaks and valleys, but yesterday was a valley for Cam Ward. Alec Iomanner, I'm concerned about him. I was excited about him early in the season, but I'll give him the same benefit of the doubt I give Cam. He's being coached by these same offensive coaches, so it's not like he's being given a real chance to develop either. But the drops by Alec are concerning. Who else did I have here? Kevin Winston. I thought it was his worst game so far. Again, rookie, trying to just every one of these rookies. Is been in a bad spot, but Kevin Winston got beat inside a few times yesterday. Rough go for him. Tony Pollard, if I would just set him for the rest of the season, let Tyjae Spears and Khalil Mullings get the carries. And then J.C. Latham, just at times getting manhandled by Josh Hines-Allen. So I just, as I look at this roster, I was thinking last night, who's going to be back on this team next year? Because the roster needs a total overhaul. Needs a total overhaul. And you got to build around Cam Ward. So, looking at offense, it's man, I mean, obviously, the first thing you got to do is hire the right coach. I mean, that's the first act of business. You got to hire a coach, and hopefully a good one. But in terms of the roster and what Borgonzi and them are going to have to do, just looking at offense, wide receiver wise, I mean, they need a total overhaul. I know Chimere Dike and Alec Iomanner will be on the team next year, but I mean, Van Jefferson out of here. Calvin Ridley out of here. Who else is there? Xavier Restrepo. I hate to see the injury to him yesterday. They were already not high on him, and now with that injury, I feel like there's just nothing. I don't feel like he'll be back. So, I mean, really, Chimere Dike and Alec Iomanner are the only ones that are going to be back. I mean, I know you need corners, edge rushers. You've got to get a wide receiver. I think the first round pick has to be used on a wide receiver. Like I think it has to, because I can't watch Van Jefferson run around out there anymore. Alec's never going to be a wide receiver one. Chimere Dike can be effective, but he's never going to be a wide receiver one. You need to draft a wide receiver with your first round pick, and you need to hit up free agency and get the best wide receiver you can. Because, I mean, you just need a total overhaul. You need another tight end. Chigakonkwo is not going to be back. You need a proper starting running back, because Tyjae Spears can be effective in some ways, but he's not a starting running back. They're obviously not going to give Khalil Mullings any reps. You need a new starting running back. You need a bunch of new wide receivers. You need another new tight end. And then on the offensive line, I don't think Lloyd Cushenberry is going to be back. Quite frankly, I don't know one thing that Lloyd Cushenberry gives you that Corey Levin cannot also give you. Like, they paid a bunch of money for Lloyd Cushenberry. Thank you, Rand Carthon. I think they need a new center. They're going to need a new right guard because Kevin Zeitler's on a one-year deal. He's going to be gone. I think you're stuck with Dan Moore. You gave him a big contract. You're not really in a position with all these needs to be going and getting a new franchise left tackle. So they're stuck with Dan Moore, who's been aight, but he has tendency to get destroyed. And then J.C. Latham's probably going to be back just because he's a first-round pick. But just on offense alone, you need a total overhaul. And then defensively, you need a bunch of edge rushers. You need at least 2 new starting corners. You need another inside linebacker next to Cedric Gray because Cody Barton is not it. You need more depth on the interior defensive line. So, I mean, a lot of work to do. But that shows you this roster is in total peril. And you can think whatever you want about Cam Ward. I don't care. But he's never going to have a shot in this situation. Like, I don't even – like, there was a point yesterday – in that game where I was like, you need to just put Brandon Allen in, because like this kid ain't getting nothing out of this. You know what I'm saying? Like, this kid ain't getting a thing out of this. What is Cam Ward gaining by being out there with this crew? Like, and it's not just it's just, I've been saying it all year. Like I said, I don't want it to just be a rerun, but the offensive scheme, the coaches, the coaching on offense, it's absolutely deplorable. And so I look at Carolina, where Bryce Young, he was worse his rookie year than Cam Ward is. Bryce Young got benched last year for Andy Dalton, but look at Bryce Young. Bryce Young's tearing it up. He looked great yesterday. He's looked really good most of this season. Look at the Bears with Caleb Williams. I mean, it can turn around, but you cannot expect much from Cam Ward. I'm not saying that he doesn't deserve some blame, but you cannot put this kid in this position again. You've got to put every resource into fixing this offense. I know the defense has needs, and we got to get to those too. But you have got to put every single resource you can into fixing this offense this season. Because if not, then yeah, you wasted the first overall pick on Cam Ward, because he's not even going to have a chance. He's got things he's got to fix, But how are you supposed to fix those things with what he's got to work with right now? That doesn't absolve him of blame, but it means that, okay, he's already struggling, and now he also doesn't have help. He doesn't have good coaching. He doesn't have good receivers. He doesn't have a good offensive line. We can't even analyze this kid. We can't even properly look and say, okay, here's what he brings to the table. There are flashes of moments, and there are things you see that concern you, but like, I don't know. It's the worst position a rookie quarterback has been in over the last 30 years. It's horrible. And that's so disappointing because this should be the season that he's learning. This should be the season that he's getting better and learning and developing. And he's been robbed of that because you guys, meaning the front office, thought Brian Callahan could turn it around, and you should have just fired him with Rand. Then you appointed the lamest possible, most conservative interim coach ever. I mean, it's awful. It's awful. So, I'm at the point with this season with 5 games to go. You can believe whatever you want about whose fault it is, but like, I just still think, the comparison I made, if you can watch the Tennessee Titans of 2025 and walk away looking at the grand scheme of things from top to bottom, and if you can walk away and say, Cam Ward is the reason they're not good, it's like going to a Diddy party and leaving saying, man, I don't like the interior decorating in that mansion. You are missing a lot of other details. If you went to a Diddy party and you left and the only thing you could take away was how bad the interior decorating was, you missed a lot of bad stuff going on. So to walk away with a definitive opinion on Cam Ward watching these Titans, you are missing a lot of details. So you can say whatever you want to say. He's going to be the quarterback of this team next year, and you're going to root for him to fail, and you're going to root for him to be bad so that you can wave the banner of I was right. But he's going to be the quarterback next year, and they're going to build around him this offseason. And if you don't like it, you can go cheer for another team. But this is real life. And in real life, you don't draft a quarterback first overall and then say, I think we'll go in another direction after one season. That's not how this works. It's not how this works. I don't know who at handle 109 handle is, but they said this is the bad team Brad wanted. He wanted Vrabel fired and us to have a pass-first Levis offense with Callie or Slowick. He said handing the ball to Henry was boring and we needed a team like the Bengals. Here's the thing. Did you enjoy Vrabel's last season here? Just curious. Did you enjoy Mike Vrabel's? Was that fun for you? Did you enjoy what we were doing? I'm not going to apologize for not being happy with the last year of Vrabel's offense, and I'm not going to be sorry for wanting a more modern pass-heavy offense. We hired the wrong guy. I've been vocal about the fact that Callahan was a bad hire, but I am not going to apologize for not being happy with the way we were doing things that last year with Vrabel. Now, if you want to blame that on other people above Vrabel that weren't putting it, whatever. But I am so done with this idea that we had it so good. We were awful then too. Just a better brand of awful. 100% knew we would figure it out with Vrabel. Okay, whatever. Whatever. We can dwell on hypotheticals for the rest of time, but I'm not the general manager. I'm not the owner of the Tennessee Titans. I did not choose to fire Mike Vrabel. They don't watch my channel. They don't listen to my podcast. They don't take into account what I think should happen. They made that decision. It's over. He's in Foxborough. Go be a fan of them if you love him so much. Your lips are already attached to his cheeks anyway, so you may as well just go live with him in Foxborough and sing his praises every day and put his face on your bumper sticker of your car and put a sign in your yard that says, I will drink your bathwater, Mike Vrabel, please give me a sip. And then, you can be happy in Foxborough with him. But in Nashville, I don't know what you want to do. I don't know what you want to do. He's gone. He's gone. We got to figure out a path forward. And the path forward is building around Cam Ward and hoping to God that he develops and turns into something, and hoping to God that whatever coach you get can help him. Like Ben Johnson has with Caleb. And yes, like Dave Canellis has somehow done with Bryce Young. Those coaches deserve credit for that. So I don't know. I don't know what more I can say here. So you guys want me to sit here. You guys want me to sit here and declare, would it really make you happy? Would it really make you happy if I came on here today and said, guys, after 12 games, I've decided Cam Ward was a bust? Honestly, if that's what I believed, then I would have to just sell every bit of Titans merchandise I have, because we're doomed. We're doomed if he is. So I don't know why you guys just get a kick out of it. If you're a Titans fan, I don't know why you get a kick out of it, because if he is a bust, if you're right, then we need to just move to Foxborough and get the Mike Vrabel signs about please give me a sip of your bathwater and put those in our yards. We'll just go be fans of them. I don't know if you guys have a thing I shouldn't say that. Never mind. I said I wanted us to get rid of our legends. Here's the thing. Derrick Henry's contract was up, my friend. He was leaving. It's not about whether I wanted to get rid of him or not. He was leaving. I don't know what other legends you're talking about. Ryan Tannehill, he was tearing it up. We are all frustrated. You don't have to insult people who have legitimate reasons to be upset that the Titans discarded the head coach. Listen, I'm not trying. Have you been reading the comments? I'm just giving it back to you the way you're giving it to me. Not you necessarily, but the other people. I mean, y'all want to come at me and accuse me of this and accuse me of that. I'll give it right back to you. Amy needs to fire Chad Brinker and Mike Borgon. Get out of here. Anyway, it's just at the end of the day, it's miserable. It's a miserable season. And when it's a miserable season, fans do this. They do what you're seeing in the comments. I don't know where the comments are for you. I'm pointing over here because that's where they are for me. This is what happens when you're 1-11 and you're the worst team ever. Fans just start turning on each other and going crazy. But I would hope at the end of the day, we all want the same thing. We want Titans to be good. Right? Isn't that what we want? We want the Titans to end up being good and playing meaningful football in months like December. In months like January. We want to see the Titans playing meaningful football. Not 6-11, not 7-10. We want them to get back to where they were, right? So I think that if that's what you want, and you should want Cam Ward to be good, let me remind you of that. You should, if you are a Titans fan, you should want Cam Ward to be good. Yeah? Yeah? Is that out of bounds to say, you should be rooting for him? Right? Shouldn't you? So, you better hope that whoever they hire in January to be the head coach of this team knocks it out of the park. You better hope that they hire the right guy, and you better hope they pick up the right players, and you better hope they draft the right players, and you better hope this offense and this team comes out looking a lot better next season. You better hope. Because I can't do much more of this. I can't do much more of this comment section right now. Because this is crazy, man. This is crazy. Come on. Like, bruh. So I think after watching yesterday, I'm just ready to get these last 5 games over with. We got to get it done. We got to get to January as fast as we can get there and get Mike McCoy out of the building and get the entire coaching staff out of the building. And, start over. Start over. Thank you for tuning in. Go drink some bathwater of Michael Vrabel. Tighten up.